Hey guys, I've been asked a whole bunch lately about pets again, and I guess like every few years now, gosh, it's so crazy, I get asked kind of just about like your pet situation and how do you deal with it and you know, what's going on. So I'll kind of, and I think some of my videos are confusing too because you can see those two like golden, they're Vizslas, those two dogs, those are my parents' dogs, the puppy, that adorable flippin' puppy, and the other one that, you know, the bigger one that looks like the puppy. Those are my parents' dogs. You saw them in my Christmas video. They are not my dogs, but obviously I'm close with them because they're my parents' dogs. So, yeah. I have 3 dogs, none of which you can see right now, which is interesting because usually they're back there. The really tall one that looks like I don't feed him, that's Cannon. He is skinny by nature. And he has always just been that way. In fact, when I got him, he was a lot thinner, and he just doesn't put on the weight like most dogs do, and it's just him. And when he was younger, I had him looked at, and it's just who he is. He is just a very skinny dog, and it's kind of frustrating, but I feed him everything. He eats 3 times what the other ones eat, and I free feed, so there's always a bowl of dog food out all the time for them. And he's just a thin dog. That's just what he is. I get a lot of comments like sad faces, like, oh, he looks hungry. Well, I know he looks hungry. He's skinny. I can hear one of them. Oh, yep, Gage is on my bed. I can hear one in here. Gage is the brown and white spotted one. He is the German short hair, and he is, he's like the craziest, the funniest dog ever. He's got so much personality packed in his little tiny body. It's crazy. So they're all rescues, I should say. And I got Gage when he was 6 months old. He was actually going to be put down because he'd been brought back to the pound a couple of times. And within, I don't know, I'd say maybe 3 hours of bringing him home, I knew why. He was a jerk. Full-faced, just jerk dog. I was just petting him and playing with him, and he tried to attack me at 6 months old. So thankfully, I mean, if we had kids, I wouldn't have been able to keep him, but we didn't have kids at that point. In fact, we didn't have kids for 6 more years after we got Gage, and he just, he was an ass. I mean, honestly, he was such a jerk. So it took some serious like training, and heck, that dog even had to wear a shock collar for quite a while and stuff like that just to get him to be good. And now he is like the sweetest old man ever, and he's just amazing. Cannon, I got Cannon when he was 3 years old, and he's actually Caliber's brother. So the black dog that we have with the white tip on his tail, the one that is a little fuller than Cannon, he is Caliber, and he is, they're all 10 and 11 years old. Caliber and Cannon are actually biological brothers. I got Caliber when he was... Gage was sad and lonely whenever we went to work, so we got Caliber. Caliber, I think, was 3 months old, but we were his 13th home. In 3 months! Like, what? And there was nothing wrong with him. He was such a sweet little puppy. He had some really bad homes. He was in and out of houses, just bad. And the sight of him... his fur was really short, just like it had just been coming back in. Somebody had spilled some sort of a chemical on him, burned him, and yeah, anyways, so that was Caliber, and we got him, we actually went down for a different dog. We went to a different state. We went down for a different dog, and we brought Gage, and all the other dogs didn't like Gage. Shocking, Gage is a jerk. But Gage and Caliber stood and faced each other and like hopped around in a circle, and it was like, okay, yep, they are meant to be brothers. So we ended up getting Caliber, and that's how Caliber came around. And then 3 years later, the rescue group sent me an email and said, hey, we have this dog, he's really thin, he's really big. I mean, Cannon's a big dog. He comes up to my hips. Like, he's a huge dog. He's just giant. He's just skinny. But they're like, we have this dog and nobody wants to adopt him because he's really big and he's really thin and he's black, because I guess black dogs aren't adopted as much as, like, I don't know, spotted dogs. I don't know. But anyways, they're like, nobody wants him, and I just felt so compelled to take him home. So I did, and he is like the biggest, dopiest, loviest dog ever. I'm really worried. I'm not gonna cry. I've already cried today. I'm worried about Gage, and I'm worried about Cannon. Caliber seems to be in good health. Cannon's health is deteriorating quickly, and Gage is, he has got more growths and more, like, his muscle. I've felt cancer in human before, and dead human. That sounds so weird. Anyways, I felt it before, and you can kind of sort of like, I'm just, I'm trying not to associate the two. So I'm very concerned about 2 of my dogs. They're, like I said, they're all old and they're all about the same age, which is just, it's going to be just a hard time. So anyways, I have those 3. Now, some of the questions I've been asked are how I handle all of them. And it's just, I've had the 3 of them now for 10 years, 10 and 11 years. So it's just kind of, you know, they're just part of me. It's like, you know, they're just family, and it's nothing weird or nothing big. Oh, we have 2 birds too. We have the 2 parakeets that Deacon got one for his birthday, and then we ended up getting it a friend. For some reason, I just can't keep one of anything. I have to have a friend. So that's why we have the 2 birds now. But yeah, when I sit down and I think about it, like I'll be working at night and I'll be like tired. I'm like, oh, I want to go to bed. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have how many mouths I have to feed? Like I can't just go to bed. Like I've got a lot. I've got 8 mouths in this house that I have to feed. Like 8 bellies rely on me, and that's scary. As far as like the parakeets are cheap, really cheap to take care of and keep up and stuff like that. Their food's not that much, and they don't eat very much of it. The dogs, on the other hand, having 3 large dogs, they eat a lot of like leftovers, and then they get a couple bones a day from Costco, but then they eat, and they don't eat a lot. I mean, they're not like, I know some dogs, you put down a cup of dry food and they're just like gobble it all up. My dogs aren't like that. They're just like, I'll eat 3 kibbles and I'll spit 4 on the floor, and maybe I'll get them later. Like they're just, I don't know. They're just not real big eaters, which I'm thankful for, but I don't know why. They do eat, you know, kid scraps and stuff like that. So, you know, it kind of all balances out, I guess. But, I think that's all that you guys wanted to know. If you have any questions, let me know. I can answer them next week. Somebody asked too for like a parakeet training video, and I mean, I can do that if you want that. Maybe I'll post that next weekend with any I'll write it down right now, parakeet training. And then, so I'll post that next weekend. And then also, if you guys have any questions, pet specific questions, you can leave them below and I will answer them next weekend as well. So, so I'll do pet Q&A. And I actually did a pet Q&A a long time ago. Oh, and we did have 2 cats as well when I was married. And when we split, and this, I did a video on this, it was called like the Great Doggy Divide or something like that, like pet custody after divorce or whatever I named it. It was actually kind of a clever name. But initially I had Gage, and then he kept Cannon and Caliber, and he went on vacation. I feel like my camera is not focused at all. I'm sorry if I've been out of focus the whole time. But he went on vacation and asked if I could watch them, and I did, and then he just never wanted them back, which is totally fine. I mean, I'm happy to have them. I think he threatened to like take them. He's like, well, if you give them back to me, then I'm taking them to the pound. And it was like, well, no, you're not. So that's how I ended up with all 3 dogs, to answer that question. And the cats, he moved. So out of that house that we were in, he had moved, took the cats, and then I guess they bailed. So I don't know. If I would have known, I would have taken them too. But they were fine, and then I guess they just ran away. So yeah, I don't know exactly what happened there. But you know, they were pretty outside. They were like indoor-outdoor cats. They were pretty independent. I mean, I saw Pistol, the gray one, he would come. I mean, Echo only liked me if I was giving her treats, and Pistol would come and like sit on my lap and like purr while I was working for a few minutes every night, but then he would just bail. So yeah, that's kind of that was the cat situation. I think that's it. So yep, leave questions below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.